See, no matter what we say, the law is in motion. And all of us are learning a lot,
right?
Even including practitioners like my brother in the studio. All of us will become richer, as the case rolls on. What are the facts? Fact is that she has been brought here based on an extradition request by the prosecutors in Ghana. She's been brought here. That's a fact. She's here. Okay? Like all citizens, she has legal rights, she has entitlement and so on, which includes the right to appeal the conviction. And it doesn't matter whether she's NDC or NPP, whoever is convicted has a right of appeal. You can't deny that. Like all citizens, NPP, CPP, whatever, she has a right to medical care, even after conviction. So if it's established that her health is failing and so on, she has a right to see a medical doctor, she has a right to be admitted to a medical facility and so on. And don't forget that only a couple of weeks ago, some major players in the opposition were insisting on Abronye's right to medical care.
True.
You understand? They could not be insisting on Abronye's right to medical care and denying others their right to medical care simply because they are NDC. The most important thing is whether or not she's truly sick. And that we can check, it can be verified and so on. So she's entitled to that. Now, even if the appeal court should uphold her conviction, as a citizen of Ghana who lives under the 1992 Constitution, she can go to the Supreme Court. And even after a Supreme Court verdict, she can go for review. She's a citizen of Ghana, she's entitled to all of these, processes and so on.
Right.
Now, there are important questions which needs to be answered. And these important questions will be answered not because she's a member of the NDC or she's a member of the NPP. These are important legal questions to be answered. And we've raised some of those questions. One, if a court, in its own wisdom, is satisfied that an accused person is sick and grants the appeal person permission to go and seek medical attention, can't the court proceed to the point of conviction when the person is still under medical care? This is a question which has to be answered. If the answer is that the court can proceed and convict and so on, her conviction can be upheld. If the answer is that the court erred in granting her permission to go and seek medical attention and went ahead and convicted her, that the result would also be clear. You understand? So this is a question that needs to be answered. And I'm not the person to answer that. That would be a question which the Court of Appeal would have to answer. And so, then there have been questions about when really does the sentence take effect. Even my brother, who is a very distinguished lawyer, had so many caveats when he discussed it. So this is a matter which would also be discussed. And so, I don't want us to get into a situation where there's a case, and a criminal case, and we are looking at whether or not the person is NPP or NDC as well. It's so unfair to the persons who have been caught by the law. You understand? So unfair. I think their political coloring, whoever, Abronye, this former Maslock lady, Sedinam, former finance minister and so on, their political coloring should not matter.
Yeah.
If it shouldn't matter for Foriata, why should it matter for Sedinam?
Right.
And if it should matter for Sedinam, why shouldn't it matter for Foriata or any of the people before trial? So I want a situation in which the political coloring is taken out of these cases, and they are dealt with to the extent possible as technical criminal prosecutions. You understand? And that's the only way in which we can be fair to the accused persons and also ensure that the state itself is pursuing justice. That's all.
Obviously, should we have been given the opportunity to watch the proceedings, her arrival, sit in the wheelchair,
What does that do?
those things? Should we have made to see all of that?
What does that do? For me, whether we saw it or we didn't see it is not an issue.
Is it material?
It's completely immaterial. So if you saw her in a wheelchair, would that confirm that she's sick? It certainly would not confirm that she's sick. You know, if you saw her bouncing around, would that confirm that she's sick or not sick? That's a decision that competent medical practitioners will make. It's not for those of us sitting on this
yes.
beautiful decks, you know, to decide whether she's sick or not sick.
Andy, would you have loved to see her arrival?
For me, it's neither here nor there.
Officers taking her to custody, etc.
I don't think that was necessary.
Okay. All right. So the second leg of this is that Attorney General Ayine has just left the shores of Ghana. He's in Washington, D.C. He's going to hold high-level talks with the state officials there, and is in connection with Ken Ofori-Atta, because now that Sedinam is here, help us bring Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana as well. Or the Ken matter is different, basically. So the fact that Sedinam is here doesn't mean automatically we will get Ken Ofori-Atta to come to Ghana.
Is it direction?
Yes.
Well, I really don't. Well, the statement that I read from Felix's post didn't say that it was because of Ken Ofori-Atta that
Ayine isn't going to
Ayine is going to Washington, D.C.
That's what the news center says, Elvis Darko.
But if that's why he's going, I wish him luck.
Okay.
What else do you want me to say?
I think there's nothing more to say. We'll see how it goes.
The Attorney General as Attorney General,
Yes.
part of his responsibility is to pursue this extradition request to the United States of America. There's nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with that. He's just doing his job.
Whether or not the request will be granted
Yes.
will be based on the interpretation of United States law by the courts in the United States.
Right.
Even if the request to bring Ken Ofori-Atta back is granted,
Yes.
it doesn't mean that he's a thief. It doesn't mean that he's a convict.
That's true.
He has to go through a trial process. The courts have to decide on his guilt or innocence.
Yeah.
Even after that, he's still entitled to appeal.
Okay.
He should be treated as a citizen of Ghana under the Constitution. Finish.
Okay.
Why do we want to politicize everything?
I agree with you 100%. Same way everybody has a right against self-incrimination.
Oh, sure.
So, indeed and in fact, Ken Ofori-Atta's presence in Ghana does nothing for the prosecution's case. Absolutely nothing.
You see, I've been wondering.
Hold on. Yes. I agree with you with all the points that you made.
Okay.
So, question is, and I agree that we shouldn't politicize it. So, question is, if the Attorney General has his facts and evidence about the offenses that they accuse Ken Ofori-Atta to have committed, does he need Ken Ofori-Atta in Accra to pursue that case?
They insist they do.
How? Because the fact of the matter is that Ken Ofori-Atta can come to Accra today and refuse to speak. Nobody can do anything to him.
Well, they're saying that at least with record.
I'm saying that he can elect not to open his mouth. You can't do zilch to him.
He's allowed.
He's allowed under the law to remain silent, because when you're arrested, your Miranda rights that are read to you is that whatever you say can be used against you. You have the right to remain silent. Whatever you say may be used against you in the court of law. So, question is, why is the Attorney General, knowing this, hell-bent on pursuing Ken Ofori-Atta to come to Ghana by all means?
Is the OSP, you mean?
Whatever. It's the Attorney General that is pursuing the extradition request. Because it's only the Attorney General that can do it.
Yeah.
Why?
But the OSP says he wants to arrest Ken first.
For what?
And get him to write his statement.
But you're not mandated to write any statement.
He insists that he needs that.
Insists that what? That you will breach the law?
He thinks that
the OSP is insisting that he will compel Kenoforiata to write a statement.
Even if he doesn't write, he goes on record before he goes.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Moral.
So you see,
you know the Smarters comes about it, and they keep insisting that they need it.
Insist on needing what?
There are so many things that are baffling.
Anyway,
one, under the laws of Ghana, no accused person is compelled to make self-incriminating statements.
Fact.
Indeed, when you're arrested and you go to a police station, you are cautioned that you have the right to stay silent. And that's for every and any accused person, whether they be ministers before or they are unemployed persons.
Sure.
Okay. Trials in absentia are lawful. So what is all this thing about Kenoforiata? I don't understand. because
it's the politics.
Can I finish? Because he's right. You can bring Kenoforiata to Accra today. On arrival in Accra, he says, I'm not talking. I'm not writing any statement. Go ahead and do what you want to do. If the OSP decides to prosecute, it will be without the cooperation of Kenoforiata. And Kenoforiata, under the law, is not bound to cooperate with the OSP. So what is all this rigmarole? What is all this drama? I don't understand the drama. What is happening actually is just theater. Pure, complete theater.
So go ahead and prosecute in absentia.
Nothing stops the OSP from prosecuting Kenoforiata tomorrow morning. You understand? Just like this lady was prosecuted in absentia, Kenoforiata can be prosecuted in absentia. So why? I think, and I've said it on many occasions, that I don't understand why Kenoforiata is staying out of the jurisdiction, even though that's his decision. If I were him, I'll come back to the jurisdiction and fight my case. But he's not me, and I'm not him. He can make his own decisions as well. So this theater, what is this theater supposed to serve? That is happening, it's just pure theater, just theater. What is it supposed to serve?
Anyway.
But that's why we are being told. You know the reason it is supposed to serve?
Yeah?
It's supposed to serve a certain political interest.
What political interest?
Ask. So why are we being told that the Attorney General has left the shores of Ghana to go to the United States to go and engage the Justice Department on Kenoforiata? That's what you said.
Yes.
Why?
But you have said that you read the statement
on Felix. I agree.
So
Felix,
why are you coming to a statement that you
I'm coming.
We don't have any reason to doubt what Elvis Akwe is saying. That his information is that he's in Washington.
I'm saying that my brother here in Japan
stated Felix's
statement. Said that he's read Felix's statement. And Felix's statement does not say what is published.
Which is true. But it says,
why is he going to
but he's also saying that if what Elvis is reporting is anything to go by, then he proceeds to make the argument he made.
After reading the statement.
Yes.
And convincing himself that the statement does not say what is reported.
Yes. But he's commenting on the story I read in the news center, Elvis Dakos' news center.
Look, there's too much theater around us. Too much theater around us.
Okay. Robert Coleman says you're opening your eyes too widely and you're frightening him. So he begs you, said Robert Coleman.
Robert Coleman is frightened by watching the screen.
So that's the Felix's statement. It says, anyway, Robert Coleman, good morning. It's good to know that you're tuned in.
I haven't seen Robert for a long time.
Oh, Robert, you have to go and pay homage. Robert, you heard it all. I have nothing useful to add. But let me read the Felix's statement. In April 2024, the High Court convicted and sentenced Senator Makurati in absentia. In July 2024, the government of Ghana submitted an extradition request to the United States for her surrender to Ghana to serve her sentence. After over 2 years of court proceedings, the United States authorities notified the government of her surrender in January this year. She arrived in Accra on Tuesday, June 9, 2026. Officials of the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Prison Service have taken her into custody and are making the necessary preparations for her to begin her sentence. Meanwhile, the Attorney General is scheduled to meet his counterparts at the United States Department United Department of Justice for a bilateral discussion on all pending extradition requests between the two countries. All right, so that's from Robert Coleman. Now, Kofi Kapito says that, good morning, Moro, please. Oh, Kofi, you don't want us to talk about the Ken issue. I have heard you.
What does he say?
It says the Ken issue. It says I'm not looking good at all on this Ken issue. But I'm not the one talking about it. It's in the paper. So I just brought it up for my guests to pass a comment on it. So maybe if you can throw some more light on what you mean by I'm not looking good on the Ken matter. Anyway, so how is he? I guess we should move on.
Well,
His Excellency the President.
You are the guy in charge.
Yes,
you
sir.
decide what we should discuss and how we move on. Why are you asking me?
His Excellency, the President, has noted with concern the increasing trend of ministers of state, chief executive officers of state institutions, and other public officials participating in and accepting awards from various private organizations purporting to recognize them as the best performing, most outstanding, or most influential public office holders. In many instances, the organizations conferring such awards are largely unknown to the public. Their credentials are unclear, and no transparent, objective, or verifiable criteria exists for assessing the performance of public officials. Consequently, the proliferation of such awards has the potential to undermine the integrity of public office, public service, create misconceptions regarding government performance assessment, and expose the government to unnecessary public criticisms and embarrassment. Number 3, public office is a solemn responsibility entrusted to officials by the people of Ghana. Performance in the office cannot be measured by privately organized ceremonies, self-appointed rating bodies, or commercial award schemes whose methodologies and standards are neither established nor subject to public scrutiny. Number 4, His Excellency therefore directs that all ministers of state, chief executive officers of state institutions, and other political appointees refrain from participating in sponsoring, endorsing, attending, or accepting awards from such organizations unless expressly authorized by the office of the President. Government remains focused on delivering on its commitment to the people of Ghana. The true treasure of the performance of ministers and chief executive officers is the extent to which they fulfill the policy objectives, programs, and sector-specific targets outlined in the 2024 National Democratic Congress Manifesto, the Government Development Agenda, and the performance indicators agreed upon with their respective supervising authorities. Accordingly, ministers and chief executive officers are reminded that the performance will be assessed based on tangible outcomes, measurable impact,